like you're supposed to have it all together, but inside you're wondering how everyone else makes it look so easy, you're not alone. This is Southern Sisters, a place for women who want to grow without the guilt, find purpose in the messy middle, and be reminded that you were made for more. Make sure you stick around. We always save the bloopers for the end. Welcome to our episode of Southern Sisters. We're so glad you're here. Thank you so much for joining us today. Okay, we have a very special episode today. We have a guest. This is Emily Sturgell. Hi. We are so excited. Yes, and Evie is here with me.
Yep.
Thank you so much, Evie, for being here. Lindsay is excused because she has a brand new baby and a brand new house.
Oh, yeah.
That's a big deal.
Yeah.
So you'll see pictures, maybe sometimes never. I don't know. I know I had someone ask me that today. Did Lindsay ever have her baby? Yes, baby. Here.
Yeah, she hasn't posted pictures.
Not at all.
A boy or girl?
Boy.
Uh-huh.
Baby Matthew.
Oh,
And he's adorable. So it is very good. But they also moved, and Courtney was going to join us today.
stomach bug.
And her daughter has a stomach bug, and we said, you just stay home.
Yes.
It will be okay. So, before we jump into our episode, we have 2 more weeks to sign up for our email newsletter. We're giving away 5 copies of the book that I wrote. And whoever would like that, it's a drawing for anyone that's subscribed to the newsletter. Just come on and sign up for the newsletter. You can do that at thesouthernsisterhood.com. And on the first of every month, we send out kind of a topic outline that we're doing for the month. You get to know like backstory things about the episodes that we have coming up, as well as a freebie download. This month was a walk through adversity. So it's a digital download. It's 2 pages where you kind of walk through troubles that you're having. And if you have a situation, it's really helpful.
Oh my gosh, I need to do that one. I haven't done it yet.
Yeah.
But yes.
I was like, oh, this will be great. So it'll be
perfect.
It'll be very, very cool. So today we are going to be talking about the loneliness epidemic. And that is why Emily is here. So she actually is in leadership for our women's organization at church. And she came and did a devotional for our women's group. And she was talking, and she had this beautiful PowerPoint. And it was like, one little bullet point said the loneliness epidemic, and she kind of skirted over it because there was only
10 minutes. Right?
10 minutes, not very much time at all. And she's like, I would love to talk about that. And it was like the Holy Ghost said, she needs to come talk about that on the podcast. And so I went up to her after. I was like, come and join us. So that is why she is here today. So before we jump into our icebreaker question, we're going to do our sister segment, which is a rapid fire. Favorite drink?
Sprite.
Yes. Early bird or night owl?
Night owl. Oh, 100%. Go to bed at like 11 p.m.
Favorite way to spend a quiet Saturday?
A long run.
I love that. Texting or phone calls?
Texting, 100%.
Yes. Favorite place you've ever traveled?
I went to London to see my brother, and I went with my best friend. So that was amazing.
Very cool. All right. Sweet or salty?
Salty.
Introvert or extrovert?
I think I lean extroverted. Yes.
Okay. Favorite holiday?
Ooh, Christmas.
What's one small thing that instantly lifts your mood?
Yes, it's when somebody remembers something small about me, like how are you, and how's school going, how's your job, and that they follow up on details I've shared. That means a lot. Yeah,
That is very good. All right. What's one thing people will be surprised to learn about you?
That I sometimes listen to rap music.
Yes. It's part of our heritage from living here.
Yes,
It's Memphis,
clean versions.
right? And what's your feel-good song right now?
Ooh, it's this song, I heard it on the radio. It goes, run from the sun like Dracula. Run from the... I don't know what it's called.
We're going to
I think
find
it's
it.
Dracula.
Yes,
We'll put it in the show
out.
notes.
Yeah.
That'll be good. Okay.
Google it.
One word your friends would use to describe you.
Sweet. I think it's sweet, yeah. And psycho. Sweet but psycho.
Yes.
Yes.
Very good. What's something small that makes you feel less alone?
Yeah, when people text back fast, you know,
Oh,
you ask them something or this,
Yeah.
how are you? And you see the little iPhone bubbles move. I'm like, oh.
They're coming. They're coming back. That's so
Yes.
good. Okay, a simple way someone has shown up for you recently.
Yes. So my boyfriend, he knows that I like lemons, like lemon decorated things. Like I have a lemon dress, and he just got me lemons yesterday. He's like, I know you like these. I was like, oh, thanks.
That's so sweet.
We can put them in water.
You can do a lot with lemons. That's awesome.
Yes.
Okay, what's one word you hope people feel after listening to this episode?
Ooh, yes. I think perceptive. Who's perceptive? Yeah.
Okay. So we're so excited to have Emily with us. This is going to be fun. All right. Our icebreaker question for today is, when was the last time you felt truly seen by someone? And I had a really good one. So it just happened this week, actually. And whenever it did, I just was like, oh my goodness, I feel seen. So, I teach Bible study in the morning for all the teenagers. And Monday morning, right now, we're in the book of Exodus, and we're talking about the commandments. Moses gets the commandments. We were talking about the first 4 commandments and how they all point you to loving God. And so I was asking them, I was like, when was a time you were blessed by loving God? Or, because it is 6 a.m, like they could have a hard time coming up with like that. But I said, or do you know somebody, like, do you look to someone who loves God and you know they love God by how they live? Like, can you think of somebody that's an example of that? And my son is 17 and he's in the class, and he raised his hand and he's like, so I know someone who loves God a lot, and it's my mom. And of course, everybody in the class was like, you're sucking up to the teacher.
Oh, okay. Yes.
7.
And I was like, yeah, that's not wrong. But what he said next was the thing that touched my heart. Is so he was like, my mom used to take pictures a lot, and she was gone a lot working. And God has told her that she doesn't need to do that anymore. And now that she doesn't, she's just around. And I love how she's followed God, even though it didn't look like she thought that it should.
Yeah.
And I was just like, okay, that's really good. So then I wrote it down. I wrote it down because I was like, I felt so seen.
You're like, okay, it's worth it that I listened.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yep. And like they're paying attention, because it's not like you go around being like, attention.
I will no longer be doing
I will no longer be working on Saturdays.
You have to pick up, on clues. Yeah. You just like slide into casually to everyday life, and somebody picks up on that, and they're like,
I was like, oh, I feel seen. I feel like you see what's going on.
Yeah.
That was
That's
pretty
awesome.
cool.
Yeah, that's sweet.
it's cool.
Yeah. Well, the only thing I could think of was mine happened recently too. It was like last Saturday. And I was having, like, everything was fine. I was having a good day. And then, like, towards the middle of the day, like, my day just kind of went downhill. And Lindsay and Adam were staying with us because they were waiting for the power at their new house to come on, which was great. And we had a lot of fun. But they weren't home yet. And I just, like, needed some time to myself. So I went to my closet. And so I was just, in there for a long time. I was just kind of just letting my emotions out and crying. And I didn't want them to see me because I didn't want them to feel like I was overwhelmed by them being there, because that was not it at all. And Lindsay asked Josh where I was. And so she came in there and she sat down on the floor with her newborn baby. And I was like, oh, my gosh, I'm making the postpartum woman sit on my closet. I'm a horrible person.
Yeah.
And she just like heard me out and just like validated me. And
Yeah, it was present.
yes,
Sure.
yeah, it was really nice. So yeah.
Oh,
very cool.
Yeah.
what a good friend.
Mm-hmm.
Good examples. I think I have to shout out to my parents. So this example, I need a little backstory. So because I'm crazy and I have friends that like to run, I did this running challenge at this local park we have called Shelby Farms. And it's where you run 10 5Ks over the course of 24 hours. So
Wow.
I know it's horrible. Like my friend she's like, yeah, let's sign up for this thing. And it was like, I signed up in January, and then it comes around. You're like, oh gosh, like what was January Emily thinking? April Emily doesn't want to do this. And you like camp out and you like kind of don't sleep. Anyway, my parents are like, oh, that's crazy. Like, oh, but good luck. And they're both like super busy on Saturdays and this, but it meant so much to me because I didn't think they were going to come, but they showed up right before we did like my 5th or 6th 5K. They just both came and they're like, gave me a hug and checked it out. And I just and they're the most loving parents in the world. Like, and I feel seen by them like constantly. But I guess that example stands out because it was unexpected. Yeah. It was delightful. It was like I can keep doing this. Yeah. Good. So yeah, felt so seen. So.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's sweet.
Emily.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about what you do.
Okay, yeah. So I am a school psychologist for Tipton County Schools. It's this rural school district. And the main role that I play, I identify students with learning disabilities. And then if they have a learning disability, whether they can be on an IEP. So I do a lot of dyslexia testing, dyscalculia, ADHD, looking at that. And we do play a counseling role sometimes as well. And so if there's I sometimes do grief counseling, like if somebody in the school has died, or a lot of times during my assessment sessions, I talk to the kids one-on-one because people's mental health also affects how the quality of their learning is going on. Yeah. It's like reading and math. And, I ask them, how do you feel being in middle school? Like, how's this going? And, so basically what I do is kind of a blend of assessment and kind of interviewing kids. And I cover 3 different schools. So I cover a high school, a middle school, and an elementary school. So I kind of get experience across the age ranges and kind of see what each age range is dealing with. And that's kind of what I do Monday through Friday, get my summers off. It's great. Yeah. But
that's amazing. Okay. So based on what you've seen, you have noticed these patterns of loneliness.
100%.
Showing up across the board.
Oh, yeah.
All ages.
All ages, every life stage. We'll talk about how young adults actually have the highest levels of loneliness, more than the elderly.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's only to be depressing, but I think it's good we acknowledge the reality, but it's only getting worse. And even in populations where there's advantage, like 2 parents in the home, and all of their needs are met, and that group still suffers. So it's like unless we really pause and think about it and choose to be intentional, I think our society is going to get more sick with loneliness because it is a kind of it is an epidemic. And that word came from, I have his name written down. I don't know if I'm going to say this right, but he was the general surgeon in 2023, I believe. It's Vivek Murthy. And he is the one who actually coined the term loneliness epidemic. And this is the general surgeon. This is the guy overseeing the welfare of our health. And there's so much research to back it up. But yeah, this isn't something somebody just says it's an epidemic. They're over-exaggerating. This is a public health crisis, I would say. So.
Okay, so why do we have this happening now when we seem like we're so connected?
Yeah, so one thing I was kind of thinking about and, reading what the research is. So technology increased communication, but it decreased connection. So, it's easier than ever to talk to people. And there's so many apps Messenger and GroupMe and WhatsApp and Facebook Messenger.
Comments.
But so it's like we talk to more people, but it's less deep.
Yes.
It is for your mental health. It's better to have 3 or 4 friends that are close and deep than 20 acquaintances. And so I would say technology is just it's kind of counterintuitive. You'd think there's so much connection going on, but the connections that occur through technology are more shallow.
They're fake,
curated. Yeah. It could be fake or just
You're just showing people what you want them to see.
It really is a highlight reel. It really is.
Mm-hmm.
And I know we all know that.
Yeah.
But when you're actually scrolling through social media, it's like your brain doesn't believe that.
Yeah.
Like,
No.
it really doesn't. Like, I know this too. And you're just scrolling through, and I'm in the era where all my friends are like having babies and getting married. I'm like, oh, maybe.
Yeah.
Like, I wasn't feeling behind until I went on social media.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so, honestly, I think social media is a huge, huge part.
Yeah.
I don't think COVID did us any favors
Yeah.
either.
Do you think AI is playing a lot into that now?
Actually, yes. In fact, I heard this one speaker say, who studies like mental health relationships, there's this phenomenon happening where like people are developing relationships with their AI personas.
Right.
'Cause if anybody's used ChatGPT, I mean, it kind of develops a little personality.
Yeah.
How does it do this? It's because, well, a lot of human interaction it's like kind of algorithmic. It's like logical. And so like my ChatGPT will be like, good job, Emily. Oh, Emily, that's a good question.
Yeah.
Here's a list of these things. Oh, that makes sense. That would be. And so, and it's like,
Who wouldn't want a super agreeable fake bestie?
I know. And
Yeah.
you're like,
Right? They agree with everything that you say. Yeah.
I mean, obviously that's
Validate
the
everything.
extreme example.
Yeah.
And then you're thinking like, who would do that? That's so weird. But it's like, that shows how dire and painful levels of loneliness are that people are turning
Yes.
to that.
Yes.
Because if you're telling me this AI persona is the highest quality of validation and attention you are getting, what does that say about your life?
Yeah.
Like, that's a crisis. But it's coming from a place of like hurt.
Yeah.
It's like, don't make fun of these people. It's just like,
Right.
yeah. So, yeah,
It
I
is
definitely
hard.
think AI. That was a good point.
Yeah, because like I notice like sometimes in the morning when I'm doing my daughter's hair, I'll let her like watch a show on my phone or whatever.
Yeah.
And I noticed like lately she's been asking me like, hey mom, can I borrow your phone for something? And I'm like, okay, what do you want to borrow it for? And she's like, I just want to ask like ChatGPT something.
Yeah.
And like it's like really innocent things. Like she'll go outside and like take pictures of like little animal footprints that she finds, and she'll be like, "What animal is this?" You know. But then like I was reading recently like what she was asking Chat about, and Chat was asking her like, "Oh, like what." What grade are you in? What this and that, and I'm just like, okay,
it's like somebody's on the other line typing.
Yes, and I'm just like, we're not doing this. Like we're gonna cut this out. Like
I will never forget. This shows how ancient I am. But when my oldest just had like a Kindle, we would communicate with her. So she was probably 11 or 12. We would communicate with her with an app called Skype.
Yep. I remember Skype, the little bluebird.
Yes. And Skype was one of the first to have an AI chatbot in their program.
I didn't know that.
And the thing that I loved about Skype is anything she messaged to anybody, it would show up on my phone. And so it's like
see what she was
it's like a Friday night, and we're downstairs. Ben and I were watching a show, and the boys were upstairs playing. And all of a sudden, like her Skype pops up, and she starts talking to the AI bot that was on there, and she was like, "Hey, how's it going?" And the bot was responding, and then it got to the point like I let it go on for a few minutes just to kind of see what she was going to say, and then she said, "I'm really lonely."
wow.
And I was like,
Ooh,
time out.
stab.
Yeah.
And so I went upstairs and I was like, "Hey, what's going on?"
Yeah.
Like, and then we had a really great discussion about how this isn't real. If you're lonely, you need to find people,
Yes.
not turn to devices.
Yeah.
And I mean, she's probably going to hear this and be like, "I did what?" Like it was a blip and not even, but that when she said to that bot, "I feel lonely," I'm like, this is how it starts.
Yeah.
Like this
Ah.
this moment right here.
Because it meets that like need, like short term though. But and we'll kind of talk about how so it's sad because the lonelier somebody gets, connection actually feels harder. It's this vicious cycle, and it's one of those things like the very thing that you least feel like doing, like making a connection, maybe showing up to the social function. I don't have any friends. I feel awkward. I don't like. the very thing that's going to help heal you.
And the one thing you don't want to do.
The one thing you don't want to do. I mean, a lot of things in mental health work like that. If you're feeling really sad, it's like, you get up, try to keep the schedule as much as you can. If you're anxious, no, you got to go engage the thing that you're fearing, go face it. And it's just such a hard reality. It's like,
Oh my goodness. Okay, so how does loneliness affect your mental and spiritual health?
Oh, great. Yeah. So, so much to go with this one. So I was kind of drawing on the research. Her name is Julianne Holt-Lundstad, and I hope I pronounced that right. But she is a professor at BYU in the psychology department, and she's one of the most respected in the field about loneliness. And she's the one that discovered that loneliness isn't just a sad feeling. It's biologically dangerous. And when I read these stats, I thought it was like, no, there's no way that's true. But I mean, this is backed by research. She found that chronic loneliness, this isn't like, oh, in my first week of college, I'm really lonely. It's a chronic, loneliness, can be just as comparably bad to your health as smoking. I think it was 15 cigarettes a day. It is a contributor to early mortality, obesity. It is you think loneliness is all in your head. It's like it is like a body soul experience. And your health will suffer if you don't get the connection that you need. So it affects your physical health. Lonely people get sick more, and across all of the horrible things that can happen to you, like obesity, Alzheimer's, all like everything horrible, like insomnia. It's like, it's all linked with that. And then the opposite is true. People who are more connected, who are engaged, and this doesn't necessarily mean extroverts. Like, you don't have to be this doesn't mean being a social butterfly. It means having relationships where you feel seen and known and valued. Like, it does the opposite. Like, you sleep better, your health is better, you live longer.
Yeah.
It's crucial. So connection is not a luxury, it's a need. And our culture is kind of our culture values independence, but your biology and your body is saying, no, you need people. And the way our culture defines success is these markers related to independence, like your salary and, you have a house by yourself. Like, even some of my friends who've bought a house by themselves and they like have their own house. I'm like, wow, that's so cool. But then I look at my friends that are like have really great roommate situations and they're just happier.
Yeah.
And like, I wonder, if we have to make the shift in our heads of success being somebody that, helps others people feel known and being known. Like, that is really what makes a healthy life. So
I love that, Emily.
yeah.
I loved this quote. It was from Mother Teresa that said, the most terrible poverty is loneliness and the feeling of being unloved. And the thing that I loved about that and how I draw it back to mental health is when you're lonely, you have the feeling of being unloved. It doesn't mean that you're unloved. But loneliness, I feel like, is the wall that we build around ourselves so that we can't feel the love that people have for us, right?
I think you're on a good train of thought. The research also shows John Capioppo, University of Chicago, somebody really smart, PhD, was saying that lonely people over time, their sensitivity to rejection increases. Like, their brain is on alert for rejection and withdrawal. And so over time, and then this gets in the way because they're hypersensitive to it. And so, like, somebody will text a lonely friend that's like, oh, hey, you want to go to the movie with us? And they might read into it like, oh, they're just doing that because they feel like I have to. Oh, I feel like a project, this. And they're like, and they interpret it in ways that aren't true, but are consistent with how we tend to look at the world through the lens of how we see ourselves. And if you kind of see yourself as like unlovable or not worthy of being known, you're going to kind of try to interpret things happening around you in that way because our brain likes consistency. And it's brutal because it's like, that's not true. And I like kind of what you're saying earlier, like having worth and your perception of your worth are very, very different. Very, very different. And so like, you know, if you're like at church and you're learning, oh, I'm a child of God, or everybody's special, everybody's unique, like that could be true, but your perception of that is different. But thankfully there are things that we can do in our control where we increase our perception of our worth. And I really think that we'll never, in God's eyes, we'll never, like that feeling won't have a max. Like we only have more to feel, like how much worth we have in God's eyes.
Well, and we limit ourselves, but his degree of our worth is limitless.
Limitless, yeah.
And so when we feel those moments where we feel alone and we feel unloved and unworthy, that's all the adversary.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And the adversary, I think he puts things in our society where that connection is harder and less valued. You know, technology is a tricky thing because it has done so much good, but it's also done a lot of bad. And that's what makes your relationship with technology hard, is because you can't easily put it into the box of bad. Like you can other things like drugs or pornography or this. It's because it's all how you use it.
Yes.
Like it can be like good and bad. So you just have to be more intentional than ever.
Oh my goodness. This is all so good.
I think like going back to what you said about making ourselves like do the uncomfortable things sometimes, like going and interacting with people, and like that resonated a lot with me because I would say I'm an introvert.
Sure.
And I have this like internal struggle with myself where it's like sometimes I want friends, but then sometimes I'm like, leave me alone. I want to be by myself.
Yes.
And so I have noticed the times that I do force myself to like go to a church activity or go to, you know, Courtney's Inklings group or go to something that somebody invited me to. Like I will like be complaining about it up until the point that I get there. Like, I don't want to go.
So valid.
But I noticed that like once I go and like I come home, I'm like, I'm so much happier.
Better.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like eating broccoli. It's like you're like, some social events, you're like, oh, like I don't like being here. But then you like feel
Build.
Filled.
Yes.
And interesting thing you're saying. So introverts and extroverts. And so extroverts, and it actually works on a spectrum. So it's not like either or, you're an extrovert or you're an introvert. It's most people are kind of in the middle. And then you have your people that are really socially inclined and they're on this side. And then you have the ones. And what that means is it's not that extroverts need more connection or introverts needs less. We all need the same connection. It's that extroverts, their bodies, like biologically, they get energized by people and lots going on. And introverts, like if they were to go to the party, like they would feel like biologically more drained.
Yes.
And so it's not just like, oh, they're shy. Like,
Right.
just stop being shy. It's
No, it's a biological
Yes.
thing.
It's a biological
I
thing.
feel that. Yeah.
But connection doesn't mean like you go to the party and you talk to 26 people. It's like connection is more about like depth, you know?
Yeah.
Like maybe you go to the party, you know, and you see your friend from church or from school or from the gym and you're like, oh, how are you? And and you don't, and it doesn't necessarily mean deep conversations all the time. It's just like you see this person and they know you and and it just kind of feels like you're picking up from where you last left off, you know?
Yeah.
So that is what matters, you know, connection.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
I totally am that type of person that like if it's too much, like if I've had socialization, like a lot of it, I'm just like, okay, I need to be.
Totally. Yeah,
Well,
that's
and
so normal.
I've had to tell this to my kids because I have some kids that are super like need to be around people to get energized.
They will feel so more people that lean more on the extroversion, or their biology. If they're not around people, they'll actually feel dull. They feel dull, and they feel like, oh,
yeah.
Whereas so
I tend to be more introvert too.
Yes.
which,
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and so I refuel by being by myself.
Yes.
Oh, that's
And-
such a
and I
such
know
a
that,
thing.
and I still need connection, but it's funny because like I've had to explain that to some kids and be like, okay, I know you need your cup filled, and I make sure we do that for you, but now I need my cup filled, and we got to do that for me too.
Absolutely.
This is important.
And then I think because you do that, you're able to be more present for other people.
Yeah.
When you're rested and you kind of need that stimulation break, and that is so important. One important distinction I think to make: people think lonely, it's not the same thing as being alone and recharging. Lonely, you could be lonely in a crowded room. You could be lonely in a family. It's a feeling of being unseen and not known. And they kind of define it as a gap between the level of connection that you're getting and the one that you want, the level you want. And so it's a subjective feeling. Or you could be alone and have it's so okay to have that time to recharge. That doesn't mean, oh, you're being lonely right now. It's like,
Nope.
yeah.
Yeah.
So what role do you think community plays in loneliness?
The thing that community plays
Well,
is that,
and here's my question.
yes.
Are communities disappearing?
Oh, I think so. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. What community does, and it kind of is like, how do you define, quote, community? And it's like, okay, church. Like, church is like a huge one.
Yeah.
And as we just become less religious as a society, and we just don't go to church as much. Or things like community centers or libraries. The problem with society is that there's community. It kind of provided the social structure that made connection automatic, like default. Like maybe 20 years ago it was more common to just go to church. Like we just go to church, and then you just have your social connections there. There wasn't anything like intentional about that. Like you're just like, okay, we're going to church, and oh yeah, like I sit with the people on my pew, or your after school club. It was just embedded into your life. So like less people were sitting there like, oh, I feel lonely. And then the other thing about society is that there's a lot less unstructured time. And so a lot of people, like, they have to work for like all day. Like, and then there's that less unstructured time just to be like, hey, you want to make cookies with me? Let's go to the park, or we're going to go do this. And there's this, like, there's less social, like, spontaneity. Like, we're just, and that's part of it. Yeah, I think that's why I think like extracurriculars for kids is like really, really important. Doesn't matter if they're good at the sport, like just do something where there is repeated contact with the same people.
Yeah.
And I think the world and communities are, people are less inclined to do those things where you have repeated contact with the same people. Like your son in baseball, like he sees this baseball team every day, same people.
Yeah.
And it's just small enough where you get those connections. Like they know his name, they know what he likes, they know what makes him laugh. Like they know, it's like less of that is happening. Like, to be honest, like in the middle school that I work at, in the high school, I asked these kids that I assess, I'm like, what are you going to do when you get home from school today?
Yeah.
And their lives are a lot less interesting. And a lot of times the answer is, I'm going to go home, I'm going to play video games. I'm just going to scroll on my phone.
Yeah.
And, it's like maybe because they come from families, they just don't have the resources to like put them in baseball or this. But these community organizations are what make your life interesting, and they put you in these repeated contacts, like 4-H. Like, I had a friend that was like part of this club where they were good at like identifying types of wood. Like the most randomest thing, and you're like, what? That's not even.
Yeah, but
they were into it, and they met with the same like 6 people. D&D. Okay, I thought D&D. I'm like, oh, so nerdy. This, so much respect for D&D. And I was we have this church group that does it, and they're the small knit group, but they're interacting, and it's like every week, and it's creative, and I'm like, D&D would heal society if we are all we're in a D&D group, like we would be okay.
My teenager would love to hear that. He falls asleep listening to the podcast. Like he's really into D&D.
Oh,
and
100%.
And I'm like, at first I was like, oh no, we're homeschooling.
I didn't know that about him.
Yeah, it's creative. Oh, so much respect.
But he has
for
his
D&D.
buddy friends, and I'm like, okay, you can play D&D and you can listen to the podcast because you're right. It is connection. It is creative.
100%.
And
it's kind of a connection. Like connection takes a little bit of work, right? Like you gotta kind of be present, and it's effort involved. Where your phones, it's just easy entertainment. It's passive, and connection is active. And you kind of, for some people have to work at it more than others, and that's good. You kind of need that.
I was scrolling.
Yeah.
And I found this video that was talking about 60 Minutes in Australia, and they were talking about because of tech and screen use, children and adolescent brains are decreasing their brain function.
Oh, 100%.
Like they're showing
100%.
signs where this is decreasing to the point where teenagers are having early onset dementia and Alzheimer's
Wow.
symptoms. Like these are signals for early onset. And so it's something that with my kids, I'm like, we've got to be so careful.
So careful. You have to be so, like, if you aren't deliberately like thinking a lot, what is my relationship with technology going to be today or this year? Like this is a really famous documentary, The Social Dilemma. You guys heard of that? It's like where they design these apps and these social media apps and the phones to be as addictive as possible because attention is money. Yeah. And it's crazy. It's so you get these adolescent brains where they're still developing their impulse control, and then they're at especially a vulnerable time because they're looking for that social acceptance. And then it's like, wow, you have to get an Instagram too. Everybody else has one. Everybody else postings about this and talking like this. And it is so, I think, I don't know. I'm worried. I think it's going to get worse. It's kind of hard to tease out the effects of ADHD now. Like I've heard of one doctor saying that before he evaluates, he actually has his adolescent patients go 2 weeks without their phone. Just as kind of I don't think this is common practice, but this is, I have to find the article and maybe link it. Yeah.
Well, if you think about it, if you're on a device, you have a 7 to 8 second attention span.
Yes.
Long format reels like we do for our podcast, we don't get shown as much because we're not 7 to 8 seconds.
You're not.
Like you have to pay attention and you have to assimilate information, and we don't require that anymore of our culture.
Yeah.
And a lot of life and relationship success.
So that's not even connecting.
Yeah. Relationship success, you need to be present, like eye contact, looking. And people are just turning to their phones because it's quick, it's easy, it's cheap entertainment. Yeah. Whereas like social connections require effort. And then the problem is that then they're losing these skills. And so I think, my opinion, when I see these teenagers that, at school, is that they're losing the skills to make social interacting rewarding.
Yeah.
And so it's like, no wonder they're turning to their phones. And like, if you're on your phone, that says I am not present. You are not important. Like, and it's, some, conversations you're in or connections like you're having, like, you're like, oh, this person's kind of like boring and it's hard. I'm like, oh, what question should I ask next? Or maybe this person's just talking about D&D and I'm not into D&D. I'm like, oh, what's your character? Oh my gosh. And they're going on this rant about what they did for their session. I don't know what they call it.
Right.
And I'm like, and you're listening to her and you're like, oh. But like, I just think there's a virtue to being present for someone, even if what they're talking about is boring. I think that's good for you.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Okay, so how can we recognize when someone around us may be struggling silently?
Yeah. This is hard because loneliness, I think that's the issue, is that it is silent. We know that the lonelier you get, you look at the world in ways that kind of reinforce that. So like, if you're lonely and you're like, I'm not going to go to this church function or this school function because nobody wants to be friends with me, so they don't go.
Yeah.
Guess what happens? The people don't get to know them, so people aren't inclined to reach out.
Yeah.
And then it's just this terrible cycle.
Yeah.
And so I think if you notice somebody just not being as present who used to,
Yeah.
you know, maybe you text them like, hey, I just haven't seen you in a minute. Like, oh, we miss you, this. Some people get into an unhealthy place where you do send that text and they're like, well, you don't care. Well, you're like, and they turn like hostile. And then it makes the other people like less inclined, like, ooh, prickly, I'm not going to reach out. And they're scared to. And then it's this, and then they start avoiding that person. And it's this bad cycle. And so, and, you know, maybe you reach out to someone that you have that has missed church 3 times or missed pickleball. You know, that's pickleball like D&D. Oh, pickleball, healing. You're with people, exercise, the kitchen.
You're
oh my
outside.
gosh, healing. And like if you notice, oh, they missed the past 3 pickleball. You know, hey, I noticed you weren't gone, and maybe it's like, oh yeah, we've been out of town. We had a baby, but it's like you just. You know, like, it's always better to assume that somebody's hurting because you're probably going to be right more of the time. But I would say if you notice signs of withdrawal, irritability. If you're in a social group and somebody's having a conversation and everyone's like, you know, laughing, and then there's that one person that's like, well, I don't know about this, or they get like weirdly offended. Yeah. That would, in my mind, trigger a red flag of like, wait, what is going on inside of them that would make them just a little hostile to be around. Like maybe, and what's hard is the people that need connection the most are sometimes the people that are hard to connect to. Yep. And so it takes, I think, virtue and character on the part of the minister or the part of the friend or the part of somebody has any kind of social oversight to be like, all right, I'm going to have to brave trying this connection. I think it's an act of bravery for some of these people. So I think if you see him withdrawal, if you just see any kind of engaging less deeply that doesn't have an obvious reason, that would be maybe alert you to that. Or like when I go to church, it's like, who's sitting by themselves? Like sometimes it's easy as that. Yeah. Now some people actually genuinely like to sit by themselves and they're not bothered. Like, I like being here. But some of them like, don't are, and then it's sometimes hard because I've been in the situation like, oh, I know for sure this person's lonely. I know because they have told me. Yeah. And then you end up like, okay, I'm gonna reach out to them or this, and then they'll be like, I feel like a project, and then your advances to try to make them feel less lonely feel rejected, and you're like, well, what do I do now? And I think that's where you have to get creative. I remember I've asked for favors like, oh, this person's feeling a little lonely. Do you mind like inviting them to see this movie because they like that movie and it's more natural sounding? Yeah. Like if it comes from you. Yeah. And obviously we're not here to fix people, and that's the role of the Savior to heal. But I think what our role is that we have to notice people and show up in small ways. And even if your like efforts to connect somebody back to the fold are kind of rejected, just keep trying. Like I think it's bad when we immediately write them off. Like, oh, they're mean, they're this. It's like, well, I think part of being like Christ, or, you know, being a good person is long suffering. It's like, obviously don't, you know, be in any situations that are like really toxic or abusive. Of course not. But it's like, I don't know, like try again, like wrestle with it. Like if you're thinking like, I don't know how to reach out to this person and the first couple times have not gone well, it's like, well, wrestle, you know, maybe let some time go by and get more insight. You have to do a lot of observing, like who will this person talk to, you know, and use that to, so those are kind of some of the signs that at least I try to look for. Yeah.
I think that the key that you're talking about here is just don't give up.
Don't give up. Yeah.
Don't give up on people. If you feel like somebody is struggling with loneliness, it's probably God who put that on your heart.
It probably is. And to help cure some people's loneliness requires you to go outside of your comfort zone, your social comfort zone. For sure. Here's a barrier I noticed in some of the social settings I'm in is people they're lucky enough to have their group. And sometimes when people are socially content, they don't notice who's lonely. And you have to be like, okay, you know, maybe I can spare 5 minutes from being with my friend group to make sure that somebody feels love. Like, I think that's the kind of intention that if everybody did, it would change the world.
Yeah. 100%. Okay, so what simple steps do you think families can take to build better connection?
Yes, and I love this. It's like, what can we do with this information? And your family, I mean, again, like what makes somebody happy and healthy is it's not having the number of connections you have. It's deep ones, the few deep ones. And where is that? The family, your intimate relationship. Like that is where your need to feel seen, heard, and valued is met. The research is kind of saying that it's consistency matters more than intensity. So what's going to matter more is something like we're going to have family dinner at least twice a week, no phones, where we're just there. Maybe it's awkward, but we're working on eye contact, and by golly, we are just there, sitting by each other. Like, more than like, we're going to take a big vacation.
Right.
It's the micro connections.
Yes.
You need to have routines that have those micro connections. Like bedtime, I'm going to read you this story. Or, what's another example? I wrote movie night. You know, like these aren't hard to think of. And I know people are busy, but like, if it becomes a routine. Yeah. And none of this by itself is profound. Like, we're going to have our Friday night movie night. Like, you know, like that's not like this deep thing in and of itself, but over time it is deep and it is profound. Like a kid coming home from school, how was your day? Yeah. Like that interaction by itself, it's like small, but like that is a micro, like a time to put a micro connection. And so you need a lot of those. And that doesn't always mean talking. It's like, you know, just being in each other's presence. Like I think the family going to the baseball game. Yeah. Like we're just living our life. Like we do our hobbies like parallel to each other. Like it's all hang out in the family room. Like even if you want to scroll on your phone or do this, it's like this togetherness. You know, is what I think what the research suggests.
I love that you said that we need to have consistency over intensity.
Yes.
That gives me so much hope. When my when my daughter was in school, I can remember picking her up from kindergarten and first grade and just peppering her with questions. And she didn't like it because she's like, I've been talking and thinking all day. I don't want to do that right now. I just want to break. Yeah. But I didn't give up. Yeah. Because I think that it's important. And, you know, you've kind of figure out like, okay, so they don't want to talk here, but they'll want to talk here.
Yeah. And I think a lot of it is like, you have to observe, like I think helping alleviate loneliness is, you just have to be observant. And the technology is such a big problem because it kills your presence. And when I think about like charity or the pure love of Christ, in its most like, I think basic form, it's presence. Like what does Jesus do for us? He's present. He was present for us in all of our pains. Or if you think about people in your life that really embody love, they're present. That's what they are. And you being present and observant and noticing, oh, this is when my daughter likes to talk and she kind of like comes alive. Let me capitalize on that. So,
even if it's not when I want to talk. Even if it's avoiding bedtime. Right. Okay, we'll do it.
Yes. And you notice there's a little bit of sacrifice involved on your part, right? Because it's not the most comfortable for you. It's most comfortable for you when she comes in and the car and like, that's when I feel. And like, but that's what relationships are. They're effort.
Yeah. No, I noticed like whenever my husband and I, like we haven't had like a date night in a while, like that's when I feel the most like not seen by him. Yeah.
And you're like, hey, I know this takes effort and we got to think of where we're going to go. Yeah. And it's like, but it goes a long way though. Like, Consistency over intensity will beat intensity every time. And that's like with a lot of things, exercise and eating healthy.
Yes.
it's just do it every day, even if it's messy. Get the streak going. It's the only thing. And the family dinners, by the way, are just the best.
Yeah.
Because everybody has to eat. Like, we can't get around that need. Like, we have to eat. And if you're just at the table, like that, like, that's enough right there.
Okay, so for the person dealing with loneliness, what would you say to them?
Oh my goodness, yes. So when I first went out to BYU, Brigham Young University, I was so lonely those first 6 weeks. Because I kind of grew up here my whole life, and I loved my roommates. They were fun and this, but again, it's about being seen, right? Like nobody knew me for me yet.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I got so passionate about this topic, is because it was physical. I felt like a weight, like it was like this strain in my chest, and I'm like, wow, like loneliness is it's a physical experience. But one thing that like kind of changed my life was when I realized that if you're gonna wait until you feel social, you're gonna be stuck. It's a hard truth. Like, oh, but I'm an introvert. Oh, I have social anxiety. Oh, this. And like, oh, I know. But like everybody else is waiting for the person to make the first move.
Yeah.
Like most people are waiting for someone else to go first. Like, hey, let's go do this thing. Hey, this. And so what helped me like pull myself out of that? And thankfully I was blessed with like, my parents ingraining good social skills and that, so that I could go off to college, and I had these skills at my disposal. But I would sit down in class and be like, what's your name? Where are you from? And it's awkward, but eventually I kind of had to claw my way out of it by just doing the very opposite of what I felt. It's like, I just want to cry and call mom. It's like, you go to the little cookie, like, get to know you function. You're like, I don't want to just go. Yeah. Like, it takes some grit, And so I think for the person who's lonely is that you have to act and then the feelings will come. You have to give it a trial too. Yeah. Like, don't give up after the first time you try to talk with somebody at this one said thing. You're like, if you're like, okay, I'm going to start going to this yoga group, I'm lonely, this will help me. Yeah. And if the first time is awkward, it's like, go again. There's like, your social health is worth investing in, The other things that, like kind of research says that I thought of was that, start small, like ask them one question, like, eye contact, smiling. Interesting fact about women that we get like 80% more oxytocin when we make eye contact than men do. Like, who says you have to like talk to anybody at the function? Like, just go to it. Like, be around people. Like, like your brain recalibrates itself when it's around people. Yeah. So the start small. I'd recommend, and then another thing is get out of isolated environments. COVID did not help. COVID was just screwed us over.
It wreaked havoc on
mental health. By isolated environments, it's like, okay, like what helped me is, so don't just stay in your dorm room all day doing your homework. Go out to the library. Go into some social place. Like, and then what happens is you have this, like these serendipitous, like, oh, hey, I noticed you from this class. Like, how are you? And, or like go to a cafe and work on your laptop, or it's like, get out of isolated environments all day. Like don't be in one all day, every day. Yeah. I would say.
That's great. All right. Anything else you wanted to share about the loneliness epidemic?
Just that connection literally heals, and that it does require intentional effort, but it's worth investing in. And statistically, I guarantee that you have somebody that you come across on a regular basis that is lonely. That's that's a statistical guarantee. And honestly, like for me, it's like, rely on God. I do think if we pray to God that he'll inspire us on who we can serve, who we can pay attention to.
I was thinking about my sister a lot while you were talking because she's older than me and she's not married yet. And she was talking to me about how she was kind of having this struggle because a lot of the people that are her friends, they're already married or they're married with kids.
Yep.
And so sometimes she does feel that loneliness because she doesn't always feel like she can like relate to them.
Right.
Or,
and then
like,
you're probably, I bet she's in groups where then they all start talking about, when are we going to introduce soft foods? And you're like, and then they're going off and you're in the conversation like,
right. And so
I have no context for this.
no context. Yeah. And all of a sudden she's in a life position where her friends are, they're getting less similarities.
Yeah. And so one thing that she wanted to start doing, which I thought was great, I think it's good that she's taking action. Like you said, is she just wanted to start like a walking club.
Good for her.
Yeah. So
100%.
and
And way to her, like, good on her for being intentional. I think those people are heroes.
Well, and building your own community is really hard.
It is.
It is hard. It takes
So
time.
to have the gumption and grit to just be like, I need connection. This is what we're going to do.
Yes.
It's a really big deal.
Yeah, and I remember when I kind of felt that way, there's this weird kind of sense of embarrassment that I felt like, wow, I'm lonely. Like, what was wrong with me? Am I not cool enough? Like, am I not this? And it's like, no. It's just our society's.
Yeah.
Sure, it's like, yes, I'm going to have this movie night. We're going to host this movie night. And gosh, maybe it is awkward. It's hard. But, like, yeah, I think what you said earlier.
Or then you think, like, is anyone even going to show up?
No one's going to show it. And then all of a sudden you're like, your self-worth feels on the line because I remember being scared to do those kind of things because if nobody showed up, then that would be evidence that I'm not cool, that people didn't want to hang out with me when it's probably like they're busy and like.
Yeah. Or they themselves are struggling with going to things.
Or I was afraid. Yeah, I was afraid of doing those things because I was afraid of discovering that. Which is a barrier to like help connection get going. It's like,
Well, it goes back to the beginning when you said it takes courage. Like to
a lot of
step
courage.
up. It takes a lot of courage to speak up and talk to people and recognize that this is something that you need. This is like a cup that you need filled and having the intention to go about and do that.
Yes.
It's a really big deal.
Yes.
All right. Well, I just wanted to close with this quote by Dieter F. Uchtdorf that says, "We are not meant to walk this life alone." And I want everyone listening to know that their worth is limitless and that our Father in heaven sent us here in families because he knows that we need that connection. Now, not everybody is born into families that are functioning. That's just the truth of it. And you have to build your own. But I know that connection is everything and that we're only going to make it back together. Nobody walks back alone. And I hope that if you're listening to this and you feel lonely, that you maybe hear something that is inspiring to you, that you can maybe work on overcoming this mountain, because that's what it feels like when it's in front of you. It feels like a mountain that you can't climb, but you can. And it just may take being a little vulnerable. Tell someone who cares. If you're someone who's lonely, think of one person who cares. And even if your brain tells you they don't, that first name that pops into your mind is probably who you need to reach out to. And just let them know how you feel. Sometimes just sharing that with somebody can help you make it through the trial that is loneliness. Because it's like Emily said, if we're not careful, this epidemic's only going to get worse and worse. It's time to stop it in its tracks. And that's going to happen one soul to one soul, one neighbor to one neighbor, one parent to one child, one friend to one friend. And that's the way Christ ministered to the one. When I was thinking about this, I was like, he went after the one. And that's what this is. If we could all focus on finding the one, finding the lonely and the lost, then we could turn this thing around. And I believe in us. Our scripture for this time is Galatians 6:2. Bear ye one another's burdens and so fulfill the law of Christ. That is the point. that is why we're here. And that's what our mission is to do. Our reflection question is for you to think about this week. Who might need me to reach out? And how can I create connection in my own life? So I hope you've enjoyed this, Emily. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. Thanks.
I'm so glad that we were able to have this conversation, and we'll probably have to have you back for part 2.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. I'm here for it.
It will be so good. So until next time,
Keep striving, and we'll see y'all soon.
Now it's time for the bloopers.
I didn't put any lip stuff on. It'll be okay.
Yeah,
All
if
right.
Lindsay was here, she'd be like, Megan.
I know. If Lindsay were here, she'd be like, Megan, where's your lips? I forgot it. I cleaned out my purse. And then now it's all in my makeup bag, but that's it. Oh, I'm on my bathroom counter. Okay. All right. So our reflection, our script. Okay. We always close with saying until next time, and then someone says keep striving and we'll see y'all soon in their very best Southern accent. So that's you.
Okay. So keep striving, and we'll see y'all soon.
Yes.
Okay.
You got this. Okay. And you can just look at that
And we
camera.
can do as many takes as
as it takes. Though if they're really funny, we'll put it in the bloopers. No, it's fine. All right.
All right. Keep striving.
Wait.
Oh,
So let's do this.
okay.
Okay.